Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sync 24 TV. This is the Nationalist show with Kennedy Abongo. The topic of today is uh, about the President RUTO. The question which we will seek to explore in this segment is whether President RUTO fears losing the Kikuyu votes come 2027. Why I find this question important for us to explore at this point in time, despite the fact that we've just come out of an election, is because of the political intrigues and the political movements that the president has been making. So a lot of people believe that President Ruto actually fears losing the Kikuyu votes, or rather, he is not sure about having the same voting bloc come 2027. So before we give you our view on that specific topic, do kindly subscribe and click that notification bell so that you're notified whenever we post. So, what is our answer to this question? Personally, I believe it could be, that could be the reason, but I strongly believe that there is nobody from that region, or the Mount Kenya region as a whole, who can really threaten or wrestle that voting bloc from President Ruto as at now. So it could be that there is no threat coming from that side, but again, you cannot take things for granted because politics, one day in politics, like it is said in the Bible, could be represent 1,000 years because there are a lot of things that happen within that short span of time. So politics is dynamic, it keeps on changing, and therefore we don't know what will come in the next 1 year or even 2 years or three. So someone of the level of President Uhuru Kenyatta may come from that side and may pose a bit of a threat if he decides to run against President Ruto. Again, it could be that the Kikuyus, or maybe disgruntled generally, when some of these promises that were made for them are now not being met. So there is that bit that you have to consider, but again, you really have to look at whether now turning to the Luo community, then the Luo community would automatically or embrace him as the president and therefore vote for him, considering that I believe Right Honorable Raila Odinga may not run in 2027. I'm using the word may not run in 2027 because I've come to learn that nobody really knows what Raila thinks. He may just decide to run. So there is, right now, we believe that he may not run in 2027. But if he does not run, does that mean that his sway as to who the Luo community would vote for would reduce? I doubt that. So his political influence may continue up to 2027, and he may have a lot of sway in terms of directing the community on which way to go or on who to vote for when they're voting for the president. So my true belief about President Ruto's overtures in Luo Nyanza in particular, I believe, is to actually entrench his party, not necessarily to not necessarily because he fears that he may lose Mount Kenya, but is an expansionist kind of overture that he wants to move there and expand now his party beyond his traditional bloc, which is Mount Kenya and the Rift Valley. So he wants to extend it to now the erstwhile volatile regions, or politically volatile regions, or regions that he thought or did not support him, specifically the Luo Nyanza. But why the Luo Nyanza? Luos are generally very political in nature. Luos, if they love you, they love you. And then again, if they do not like you, they do not like you, but they can easily forgive. That is the difference. They share that bit of love. Na Kikuyus, when they love you, they love you, and then when they don't like you, they cannot easily forgive you. You know, they carry that that with them, that dislike, they carry it with them. It's akin to hate. So it's more different with Luos. Luos would easily forgive and embrace a person who did not like them, whom they did not like, unlike the Kikuyus who find it very difficult. And that is why you find it was so easy for Luos to embrace Uhuru Kenyatta even after the 2013-2017 deals. So they accepted him as their own. And I think President Uhuru Kenyatta during his time enjoyed most of his presidency while he was in LUO Nyanza. I think he found it very comfortable going to Kisumu and other parts of LUO Nyanza because of the love and the acceptance he received from that side of Kenya. So Ruto also, I think, wants a bit of this cake. He wants these people to also accept him as one of their own, and that is why he chose as his first visit in the country as president to go to Homa Bay, which I think was quite a surprise for me. I would have expected that he would go to a place like Central or even Rift Valley or even Coast, but he chose to go to Homa Bay. So that was telling, because what he said that he would do, he spoke to things that really impact the ordinary Luos, the people he referred to as hustlers. And then after church, he went to a political, essentially it was a political rally where he addressed the people, or he addressed those he called hustlers on his agenda for that region. So that address was not really for Homa Bay people per se, but it was to the Luo community to consume and to see his intention are good. He was essentially extending a hand to the Luo community. And if you noted, he assured the people that he would take care of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, the tone he adopted and the approach he gave his speech while he was speaking to the people showed a man who really wanted to now, come and at least pick something from that particular region. But I don't believe this is necessary because he fears that he may lose Mount Kenya in 2027. I think Ruto wants to develop some bit of foothold, or have some foothold in that region through his own party, because he believes if he comes there strongly, knocks every now and then, he may end up getting something from that region. And I think he learned this the same way Raila went to Mount Kenya for people who never voted for him, and then he started going there, and I feel it was a bit too late. He may have gained a lot more had he started earlier, but for the short duration that he went there, he got over 1 million votes. So President Ruto, with now the state machinery and with the kind of promises he seeks to implement in that region, you noted, he spoke about going back to Homa Bay next month and even commissioning other things, I think in the course of either next week or something. So that shows you a man who intends to be visiting that particular region so much and so early into his presidency, so as so that it can be seen to be working specifically for that particular region, so that they accept him early enough. By the time, and he believes so, it reaches 2027, he may have a more foothold, more stronger footing in that region, and may probably present a bit of a challenge for ODM, who at that time, I believe, may not will be fighting a lot of battles, left, right, center, seeking to maintain control of that region. So President Ruto wants to take advantage of that and at least enter into LUO Nyanza, and is going to do this through the disgruntled uh, leaders from that region, people like Obado, people like Ochieng of Ugenya, people like Kidero. So these are the people that he wants to use to gain entry. But I think his intention is not really to have these people join him as a coalition. His intention is to have his party to also have candidates in that region. He wants to create a big party. And if you look at it critically, that is something that is already in motion, that is actually happening as we speak. Moses Kuria, for instance, in Mount Kenya, is going to fold his party and fully join UDA. So I believe a lot of smaller parties from that region will eventually fold and join him. So if he's going to expand, he's going to expand as UDA, United Democratic Alliance, and not any other party. Therefore, our final shot to this question is that I don't really believe personally that is coming to to Nyanza, or specifically wooing Luo Nyanza, because he fears that he might lose Mount Kenya. I think he wants to build a bigger party. That is the intention that he has. Whether or not that intention will materialize, we are yet to see. But one thing we have to realize is, if someone knocks over and over again, somebody inside the room would say, "Hey, what do you want?" And then he will force a conversation. And I believe that will happen. How that conversation will unfold, we will see as time goes by. Thank you very much for watching. Do leave a comment down below. We'd like to know what you think about the topic, and also your view on it, or whether you agree with us. Thank you very much.